there's ways of getting around this. So I'm okay with giving Malphite if we're gonna have something really powerful in trade. Again, if you're willing to give up Malphite, I'll take Varus. And if you're EDG, you can take Varus Cassante, and you're chilling. That's a massive blind. So they're gonna ban the Malphite. TT, please just pick Varus. This champion is like a 70+% win rate here in the LPL, and is one of the most picked champions currently in this. Right now, before today, 16-7, at least in pick and bans, and was 12-4 before today. So very nuts.
1, 6, 7.
Thank you. Perfect. I hope Chad is making fun of you, man. That was forced.
Listen, yeah, that one was forced. I should have waited. The Varus does get picked up here. Pantheon should be the So this is we're making trades. We're making trades in this final draft here. So Xiaohao gets a lot of map agency. Ryan's comfortable in the ED carry position. I do like this trade for EDG for one specific reason. I think Leave, he could play the Varus like everybody does, but like I don't think of Leave as like a guy that likes playing Varus. That just doesn't feel like up his wheelhouse as a marksman.
I don't think Leave likes playing poke Varus. I think Leave loves playing on-hit Varus, and we've only gotten a fair few amount of those games. Again, if we're looking at another AD carry that might have been tangentially related to these two teams playing, 1xN played an amazing on-hit Varus the other night, so Sivir is a good option. I like this from EDG. The Pantheon is going to give you flexibility later in the game, but a strong duelist early on. And the Sivir, always going to be relevant and still a competent duelist in the first few levels of the game.
Speaking on that on-hit Varus, I'm going to at least signal the fact that we have a Sivir, a Pantheon jungle, low range. So keep stock with how many how flexible builds Varus can get. You know, we can have a little bit of fun here for Ryan, but it's something to keep note of. There can be range, you know, at least coming out through Angel that can make things tough. Varus Nautilus, though, is a very strong lane for any AD carry to stare down, so that Nautilus you've been calling for virtually all series long will fall into the hands of Feather in the clutch game 3.
Leona's okay. I really would like to see a Braum. I think Braum does a lot of good things versus Varus, and you have a good matchup individually. It's a bit early, so I get why they would want to do that. I just think that if you have a Pantheon, you have decent enough front line, and Braum can kind of join him up there. So we'll see what Parukia ends up locking in on. This is basically a flash check in the mid game. Does Varus have a flash? If no, then Eclipse or the Solar Flare should just immediately land and hit someone. So now we go into second phase. We have both of our bottom lanes chosen. I wonder if TT are going to be looking for some more top lane bans here, considering they're not going to have counter pick for top lane.
Why not jungle though, right? Like this pool's already incredibly pinched. I don't know how many champions Junhao really feels comfortable playing by this point. Yeah, get rid of the Kiana. What else do you think you don't really want to play against? / what you not want to see from Junhao? I mean, it's slim pickings out here. Look at the Fearless. We've lost Jarvan, Vi, Xin Zhao, Wukong from the first 2 games. Pantheon's gone, Kiana's gone. We're reaching deep into a jungle bag right now.
I think Poppy's good here. I think Poppy is very likely here for Junhao as an answer. Like, you have a decent interaction into both the Leona and the Pantheon, and if we're talking about wanting to make fights really easy, we'll just knock someone out. Just Keeper's Verdict them out of the fight here. So I like the Anivia ban. They're getting rid of the Malzahar. They learned from last night. We can't let this champion go through. I'm sure Angel's having a little bit of fun with that, so we'll see what he's going to be moving towards. I don't like Aurora. I think some of the nerfs have really taken her down, and again, Ryze being one of the most important mid-mages here.
This is how I'm responding to Hovers. I like the Syndra. I like the Syndra. I think she's in a great place. I think she does really good to kind of punish Ryze from range. You can maybe catch, you know, Nautilus mid-hook. Like, you can really punish any overstep here. Like, that's what Syndra is. She's the zone control champion with that Scatter of the Weak. Just curious to see how Angel will build her, especially now seeing the Nautilus and the Cassante. Ryze for Junhao. Nocturne for Junhao. That is, you know, one of the few junglers left that I would think that Junhao feels comfortable playing at the current spot for Season 16.
It's fine. You're going to be looking to punish on side lanes. I think, again, we're really looking for, do you have Flash? If you don't have Flash, then there's a Nocturne, there's a Nautilus, you are going to get caught out. It's going to be a very explosive game, especially from the side of TT. They have a lot of great range, and I think that Varus is basically going to be teeing up some of these other players, like a Ryze, like a Nocturne, to really get things done. After all of those amazing hovers from ZDZ, we're going to end up with a Gnar. So strong lanes immediately in the solo lanes for EDG. Whether or not they're going to be able to turn that into a couple of team fight wins, I think I'm going to need to see. Again, there's a big game here for Xiaohao and Parukia to really set their team up for success.
So now that you get a look at all the comps in their totality, it's going to be lethality Varus, right? I don't think there's much of an angle for anything else. Here's the one thing I do worry about TT with going with this Ryze, like Cassante, like low damage solo lanes until very late on, right? Well, then maybe Heru could be reliable. There's not a lot of reliable follow-up damage for Junhao with this Paranoia, unless you're ulting for, like you mentioned, like side lane plays.
Sure, I think a lot of times Nocturne ult kind of gets distilled really basically into like, I'm going to press ult and someone usually is going to die. I think just the vision denial by itself is really important, especially if they're around a dragon. You make it nearly impossible for Xiaohao, if he's not already in the pit, to get in and then try to steal. Also, it's a great way of hiding certain map movements if you're trying to make a play on the other side of the map. So I kind of want to see what Junhao is going to do. I think he's going to have to be really creative here in this game, because Ryze, while he doesn't have the range, I think provides a lot of great setup for the team if he's allowed to actually play the game.
Some notable stakes as we get set for the last bout on Summer's Rift between Edward Gaming and ThunderTalk Gaming. EDG looking to get back to 500, stay in reaching distance of the top of Group Perseverance, and ThunderTalk looking to shake things up with their first series win. One of those two going to become a reality by the time we are done here in our familiar battle arena.
Damn it, Slayer, we missed it. The EDG Gyos were coming out, and there were only a few of them here in the Suzhou Arena, but we were close. Again, we're scaling with them. We're going to get more of them later in the series. We've got BLG versus JDG right after this. I know a lot of folks are waiting for it. It has been the matchup to watch for tonight, so don't worry, folks. After this one, we'll be getting into that series right afterwards. But for now, big focus of the early game for me is going to be looking at EDG solo laners. You have such a good matchup in the top lane that unless Keshi can somehow flip it, I think that Xiaohao is going to have pick of the litter when it comes to whatever he wants to do in the topside jungle.
That's the unique spin to this game 3, right? Is the fact that both junglers can influence the map from ways away. Paranoia and obviously the Grand Starfall have a ton of range to force number advantage plays anytime on the map.
This is what I'm talking about, guys. If you're playing Sivir, you don't have to be afraid. Like, this champion level 1 is broken. You could throw your Q down, you have so much damage, and then the bonus movement speed you get from your passive, while small to start, is incredible. So already, ThunderTalk's bottom lane getting completely moved off of the wave. Level 2 hit first there for EDG, and they're going to continue to punish them and make sure that this Varus doesn't really get enough space to play.
CDZ settling in comfortably to his lane assignment as well. Starting to see slight push here coming out from Angel into that early Ryze. I mean, can you just put the headphones on, blast whatever music you want, and just kind of cruise if you're Xiaohao? I mean, doesn't have a worry in the world right now.
Hey, look, as much as I would love for him to cruise, I think you want to win the game. I'm gonna take a leap out here and say that Xiaohao wants to get this game done early. Angel probably has a bedtime soon. We haven't talked about her in a little bit now, but I'm sure Angel's dog also wants to maybe see him. So for EDG, it's about let's get Angel home, let's get him in bed, and you got a lot of options here. First play coming on through for TT. It is going to be Junhao immediately spotted, but they gain control of the Fey Lights, and this was some interesting pathing, I think, from Xiaohao, going from bottom to top side.
Both Scuttle Crabs going down. Xiaohao just gonna, get a little bit of scouting as he goes for his reset. Just notice this, that both mid laners are not supporting teleport. I know that's a thing on Ryze, but I've been seeing a lot more Syndras go away from the teleport. even with Phase Rush, I do think it's intriguing to go for the Ghost here, but into, what, Cassante, Nautilus, Nocturne?
Yeah.
Never a bad thing.
We said that this was going to be a low-range game. I think Ghost is so OP for Syndra here. And Ghost, especially, Heru actually just used it to get back into lane much faster, so he's going to have first push in mid. This is really interesting. I want to see if ThunderTalk are going to be able to leverage Ryze's advantage right now, because it's so early in the game. Ghost is going to be back before any real big fights, especially around that Grubs. And the home guard's advantage means that he's immediately pushing here. So are they going to use this to move into top side? Maybe does Heru get a chance to sneak into bottom lane and look for something on the leave?
I have to see. I have a weird segue question.
Yeah, what's up?
What? There's still one Syndra skin that what's the name of the Syndra skin that is it still banned in competitive? Because it's like too hard to.
Oh, the
Justicar
Justicar
the water one?
It's
or,
so. This is it. So the Justicar one is banned because the orbs are really hard to see. You can kind of hide some of your animations. Talking to Syndra players, and this information might be outdated, but a lot of the Syndra skins that are not her base skin are bugged because the actual models of the spheres are a lot smaller than their hitboxes. So it's much tougher. Some of the skins, like I think it is whichever underwater skins that she has, not the Atlantean one, but the haunted one. Her animations are slower on those skins. So
interesting.
You get
so what you're saying is, for all the Syndra players at home, you should just rock the base skin if you want the most optimization.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
However, I love Spirit Blossom Syndra.
I use Spirit Blossom every time.
Exactly. It is too beautiful of a skin.
Except for when it's Halloween, then I rock the one with the pumpkins. Because you gotta be festive.
Fair play. Fair play.
All right, so while we went down the old history books of Syndra skin optimization, we now see that both junglers have completed one more sweep through the clears. On the top side, Parukia looking for a nice little Zenith Blade engage, gets the cleanse out of Ryan. Both junglers are, begrudgingly looking to fight here over this top scuttle. Angel does have that ghost advantage, gets this guy on the weak stun. Unleash power immediately thrown fully out, but gets poked really low. Heru's going to flash for first blood. Junhao gets away from Xiaohao. Oh my god, the longest realm warp you've ever seen in your life. Please get the Rune Prism. All right, Heru, come on. Can't go through the unbreakable wall. Xiaohao, is very lucky to be alive. Heru hit every single skill he could to nearly find himself a double kill. It's still ThunderTalk on the board first, though.
20 HP there for Xiaohao. Incredible stuff, the fact that he lives, but a massive investment from EDG. Still turns into first blood. Good job from ThunderTalk in the mid jungle. This is why they were trying to avoid each other early on. If you have a spell shield as Nocturne, you kind of cut out the legs from underneath a champion like Pantheon. And now Nocturne has level 6. If he wants to make a play for the bottom side, I think it's very likely. If Gnar would have overstayed for this lane, maybe they just look to turn onto him instead of this dragon.
He's definitely still sticking around. Junhao? Nope, not gonna look for it. He wants the dragon, so he's gonna head back towards the bot side. Big win as well for the kind of dynamic of how mid lane's expected to go. I know Syndra's a lot different than her lane bully past, but she doesn't scale as well as they say a Ryze would, and definitely is a lot more punishing early compared to the Heru's Ryze. So definitely where you kind of want the gold. Heru now up significantly alongside Junhao, the mid jungle duo for ThunderTalk, gonna try and pave their way through an early to mid game that you marked as one they need to find the win in before leave comes around.
So Grub spawn in 30 seconds. You can see that Junhao is moving towards the top side. There is no Syndra flash, so if she ever moves for either of the side lanes, you are going to be hard pressed to find a better target as ThunderTalk. I want to see them try to abuse this. It makes EDG going for an objective really tough. You cannot walk onto that same side, and you basically have to escort Syndra everywhere, which basically means you are always going to know at least 2 members of EDG and where they are on the map.
Grub's on the map. Junhao on top of them. You do have Xiaohao close by. Heru has first move, though. Angel trapped under the turret. We don't see where exactly Feather is. Couple pings show him towards the Drake Pit side. None of this matters, though. Junhao uncontested. The Grubs going down before first Dragon. That's something that we're used to talking about in Season 15 last year. 25.
Go.
Oh, hello. Solar Flare. Oh, the Ghost doesn't get hit. Oh, the stun. Good little find there from Parukia. And the Unleashed Power gets the kill home. So both mid laners have claimed the lives of their counterparts so far.
And now Xiaohao gets all of the information as to what Junhao's camps are. He'll steal the respawn Raptors, probably also get the bottom side scuttle. So this is going to open up a big lead here for EDG. And like I said, for Leona, flash check. Does Heru have flash? Slayer, let's inform the audience.
I don't know. No, I'm kidding. No flash. No,
There
there was
go.
no flash.
There you go. See, it's very simple.
I feel like I'm playing League of Legends Coco Melon Edition.
Look, you had a bit of an issue earlier with reading the pretty pictures, so I'm just making sure that you're on your P's here.
I knew the minute you took that tone that you were going to go right for that. We're bringing.
Come on, man. Got another 3 games after this, okay? So yeah, you can't run out of material quite yet. This is called callback.
Okay, right. Okay, yep. I understand. I understand how callbacks work.
Yep, there you go.
I'll be making a callback myself if something happens. So, and you're gonna hate it. So, foreboding. Let's make some callbacks to games 1 and 2, based off of where we're at comparatively to what we want to see in Game 3 here. My point being, how do we tackle these Drakes now, and how much do you feel like the game might warp the fact that first Drake is not going to go down? I mean, it doesn't feel like anytime soon. Maybe like 12 minutes in. It's definitely going to give a different sort of edge to this game compared to a lot of the games we've seen in the LPL so far this season.
You say 12 minutes. I think 10:45 is a good timer for this Dragon. You see that EDG are already positioning around here. Is it because they want to take a I see Leva's recalling. This is strange. I would have thought you want to use your power now. You just got to push in on bottom lane. Syndra also just got a push in mid and also has her flashback. This could have been them playing for this Dragon. Instead, it's Leave getting closer to an Essence Reaver, and ThunderTalk are going to do nothing for it. Okay, no punish here from ThunderTalk.
Haha, I'm liking my 12-minute assessment. Guys,
all right, never mind. It's not 10:45. Maybe it's 11:15.
Okay, we're going for Heru. Nice little stun. Scatter the weak. Angel finds the pick. The stun lock comes down thanks to a nice timed solar flare. And Heru is once again picked off, thanks in part to Angel and Parukia teaming up.
I don't understand why Heru had to die there. I mean, he just kind of got back to lane. He's already down almost a full level. Exactly, he had flash the entire time, and he had Merc Treads, so it wasn't like he was getting CC'd for the entire duration of that play. He had many opportunities to use the flash, opted not to, so if he doesn't end up making like a big flash play in the next 3 minutes, I feel like that was a really good punish there from EDG, who now get more time on the bottom side. They take a Dragon, and ThunderTalk are kind of left with very little reprieve. I mean, unless they make something happen around ZDZ, this is a huge win.
I mean, I'm still waiting. Junhao, yeah, we got to see that first paranoia. Flash comes out here from ZZ to try to clear some distance. The Fierce still going to come through. Grand Starfall behind. Angel's here as well. All right, don't know if they'll be able to get Junhao, but they're definitely going to make it a top laner for top laner trade. Oh, maybe they will. Parukia is going to force the flash. Junhao, luckily, has a blast cone nearby. Solar Flare. Parukia might be looking. Not going to gamble with a spell shield still available, but nice little turnaround there from EDG. So we can look back at Heru's escapade towards the
so he doesn't have flash for 5 seconds. Wait, okay, 3, 2. Okay, he's already dead. This is a really tight flash timer then. Okay, I will give him credit. I'm sorry, Heru. I was unfamiliar with your game on that point. Thank you to our observers for showing me up. You know, we'll be humble, eat some cake, eat some pie there. For EDG, I'm very happy with the trade on top side, because I mean, we invested a lot there from ThunderTalk. We got a kill going over to Angel. That's just more Splinters of Wrath. Already has the first upgrade in her queue. He's going to have it soon for the W once he hits 80. Everything's going right for EDG. This is exactly where we wanted to see them coming into this. Oh, we get to see how Angel lost his flash. An important cooldown, but I think a little less meaningful considering what just happened in top lane.
Yeah, still. Win. Dredge line spec given over. Some of the quests are starting to come through, even though we've seen some lane swaps come across. Keshi completes his top lane quest. Going to get some gold off of the turret as well. Good to see Angel. This is the most meta build for Syndra. I do think there are places to go like Ludens and then go full burst, full Shadow Flame, but in a game with a Cassante, you know, Rise, Nautilus, you got to go Blackfire Torch.
I'll tell you right now, this champion with ability haste is broken, so you just need the Blackfire Torch. And
you know who's broken with ultimate ability haste? Good old Junhao right there. Not saying he has any yet, but oh, he does. He has hex plate.
He does. So good play. They caught ZDZ. They knew he doesn't have flash. That'll open up a small window here for Heru to farm up this wave. If he gets a turret play for himself, that'll equalize the gold. But Angel's just been farming on the bottom side by himself, and without Realm Warp, I do want to say that because both mid laners didn't opt for teleport, making map movements and choosing which waves you're allowed to be on is way more important as mid lane. But anytime a Heru has Realm Warp, that means that they get to basically make a little bit of a cheater. They can go to the other side of the map if they want to. Xiaohao picks a direction, chooses wrong. Don't think it's going to be too much water off our back at this point. We'll see if EDG can get anything on this top side now that they've reinforced 3 members up here.
Herald in 30 seconds. Still waiting on a first turret break. Dragon timers are still pretty funky. Nice little gold injection for Angel with the crystalline overgrowth claimed. Definitely has a huge advantage item-wise over Heru. Still need time for this rise. Syndra, with that ability haste like you talked about, is going to be problematic. This does feel very similar to Game 2 so far, Ulk. And again, do want to praise, at least in this part of the game, the poise that Edward Gaming are bringing to this matchup that we kind of were missing in our first match of the night. Heru
there we go.
Prisms. Junhao, turn the lights out. Angel gonna go down. Again, it's the Grand Starfall turn with Parukia nearby, but this time TT get their kill without having to get near the EDG turret and way before the reinforcements come across. Still, Xiaohao's gonna section off Heru. Does not have the Realm Warp. He is as good as dead, and this time with Leave here, they can make sure the gold goes to the right place on the trade back, but TT on the map, feeling a bit better on the mid lane side at least.
Yeah, Ryan gets to hit up this wave, no Q3. If Keshi lands that might have been ZDZ going down again. But a very, very tight play. That's the flash that Heru didn't use in mid lane when he died the second time. I don't think that's worth it. I mean, you got another turret played in mid, but Leave ends up picking that kill. You now lose your entire top tier 1. It's actually going to be reinforced by a Keshi TP, and you still get the Herald? That's dicey at best, and pretty bad at worst here for ThunderTalk. A great trade coming in for Edward Gaming.
Very fun to see 2 teams opt into playing the map with their comps, and I feel like that's a really good test to see which teams are in better spots. Oh, Leave. Well, improvement plan. It was not followed there. I don't think we should ever be close enough for Keshi to get a 1v1 with you, Leave.
Okay. Good enough. Killed Leave. And it did cost a lot. That was both the flash and the teleport coming in from Keshi. So, meaningful tools being used. Maybe Keshi gets alone time on this turret. I think more so it's going to be him taking his recall, moving in. Dragon going over to TT is not all that bad. So, we are getting some push and pull in this game, which I know coming into this series, I was maybe a little bit more hesitant to give ThunderTalk the benefit of the doubt. But like, this is just a very good play. I mean, he doesn't have Spell Shield anymore, and you get the flash from Leaf. That's massive for ThunderTalk.
I don't know what we're doing, Leaf. Yeah, great play to Keshi, but we got the plate off the turret. We saw the TP. We just need to back up there. So still those problem points that EDG need to solve a bit more. And like you mentioned, with the push and pull we've had in this game, they're not up a whole lot. It's like a couple hundred gold. We're even on dragons. We're going to even up the turret count here with Heru taking the bot tier 1 side turret. Here's the play, though, for Xiaohao and the rest of EDG. They are going to bring good old Shelly out to throw herself at that tier 2 turret, but it's just gold plates. Leave, though, on the mid lane. That's good.
Heru's going to be here. EDG can kind of wrestle this. I've just now noticed we are 18 minutes in, and Parukia has still not completed his support quest. That is very dangerous. Just not having that same amount of vision across the map is kind of making it a little bit tougher. He now completes it, so he'll get it back when he goes through base. Also picked up his Bulwark. He's a little bit tankier than usual. But the gold's fairly even. We're within striking distance of each other. Look at how even these gold differences are between our players. I mean, if this is leading up to one of the best games we get tonight, at least in group perseverance, I will take it. Because Game 2 was a stomp. Game 1 was like an action-packed thriller that had like a mid-game spike. Parukia getting caught here is pretty bad, though.
Yeah, I mean, depth charge into Chains of Corruption. It's so much CC lock. Good flash away for the piercing arrow. Ryan tries to get it out quick and hit short. Doesn't end up finding its mark. Again, kind of an even trade. I think Parukia burning flash stinks, but you take a couple ults off the board here. Nonetheless, there's not much to play for with those ults before they come back up, though.
Yeah, and what I'm going to be now kind of excited as TT is not only does Parukia not have flash, it means that he had to recall. Is there a side lane that we can look for? Can we punish Syndra when she's sitting in this lane? No, she's going to rotate mid alongside Leave. It seems like EDG want to make sure that they're poised and in position to either go for a Baron in 45 if the pick makes itself apparent, or, more likely the case, protect our immobile control mage that's sitting in a side lane right now and make sure that she's not going to get caught unawares without very much in terms of backup.
It's going to feel a lot nicer in the side lane when Angel can get this Cosmic Drive down for the ability haste and also just the, natural tankiness, the speed up. Both of these mid laners need a bit more time to cook in the crock pot for sure. And protecting them on side lanes is that must that you pointed out with the junglers we have at play. I don't know how much I want to call this poise anymore. I was expecting a bit more playmaking from at least our junglers and our supports. Parukia's been doing a lot, I would say. Feather on the Nautilus, I mean, that's an easy way to look. You get Parukia blast coning himself into trouble. Once again, it's Chains of Corruption. He turns the Solar Flare back around. It's going to get the cleanse out of Ryan, so he doesn't get stunned up. Good amount of poke, but doesn't manifest into much, and it's definitely not going to be a Baron turn at 20 minutes for TT off of that. So.
Oh, no, but now they can recall. I mean, Parukia, again, is getting chunked out pretty heavily. I mean, he's very poor in this game. Does he get his Protoplasm? No, he doesn't. He is incredibly squishy. So he needs to engage, activate his Aftershock, and then we can kind of start talking about whether or not this Leona can start to play. You do have your W, so you do kind of get to cheat resistances, but you could see how easy it is for TT to blow this member up. And this is a 2-item Varus at this point. Like, Sivir is very strong, yes, but Edge of Night, you're also going to have Muramana being completed within the next 5 minutes, so there's a very large spike coming on through here for ThunderTalk, and I think EDG do need to be a little careful with what and how they take fights here. I mean, 45 seconds before Dragon, and we still have our Cassante who can teleport in with a 30% max HP shield.
Gonna get some time on that top lane turret, though. Looks like TT are willing to sack some immediate gold to Keshi, or sorry, EDG are willing to sack some immediate gold to Keshi to have first setup on this Dragon. Again, part of the reason that the pace of this game is slowed down is you have to remember, first Dragon of the game came off the board at 11:30 on the clock. So we are just now getting to third Drake with Baron already on the map. It's making things a lot more slower pace. We are not immediately having to fight over some big soul-altering dragon yet.
I think TT are just going to give up this Dragon, play for position over mid. They're putting all 5 members into this right now. EDG are already on this. Let's just take the mid-tier 1. Maybe we can go for a little bit more. I mean, we have 3 grubs. Why not? Angel cannot walk back into this until Parukia gets here. This might be the whole turret, and they can Realm Warp themselves out of this play. ZDZ is still split pushing and does not have Mega Gnar anywhere near close.
Xiaohao has to use a rare defensive Grand Starfall to cover the turret. Wonder how much work ZDZ got done. Okay, so we went about even on turret damage, but all right, now ZDZ will walk out at just the right time. Again, another really even trade.
I would say mid-tier 1 is slightly more important.
Just especially because you have Drake this late? Yeah.
Yeah, Drakes are going to be important, and when we're talking about the side lanes, just being able to have push is very crucial, but TT can move so much quicker around the map than their opponents. Again, just having a Rise gives you that timing with the Realm Warp. So Parukia, again, by himself. No one else is nearby.
I mean, this is like Groundhog Day. The same way this starts, it's like Dredge line first, Depth Charge second. They wait out the flash. Chains of Corruption was third. Parukia does get out. The re-engage comes across, though, on top of Angel. Great scout of the week. Junhao doesn't block that with his spell shield, but that's Angel Flash, Parukia Flash, both their ultimates off the board as well.
And this gives TT time to scale. EDG have been sitting on a 1,500 gold lead, and a lot of this is in ZDZ, who we have not seen neither the Gnar or the K'Sante really be in a big fight. So until ZDZ either makes a big play in a side lane where he's open up turrets and taking down structures, or he gets into one of these team fights and he has that Mega Gnar to really be a big difference maker, functionally, this game is even right now. And Parukia getting caught out, while he doesn't die, is slowing down the game and giving TT a little bit more space to breathe.
It's a dangerous game. We talked about how it just, if you take one win as TT, you could definitely get a second. And now that we're 25 basically extended minutes into this game, we're going to start getting to the point, Alk, where it's like one fight wins you the series, right? With how long death timers are going to be, what's going to be available on the map for either team who can win a pretty convincing fight at this point.
A lot of EDG Game 3s have been disappointing so far. I mean, I look back at that Game 3 versus NIP, and while they got clapped in this one, and it's nowhere near close to this, you have to start thinking that maybe that comes to haunt some of these players.
On to Junhao. Instead, it's Feather that gets jumped on. Flash still gets the stun from the Pantheon. Solar Flare stun over top. Xiaohao is dead. Heru is flanked. He's looking for leave. There's the Nightmare re-engage coming across, but Angel gets thrown into the wall. Ryan executes the Syndra. Junhao's going to flash himself out. Re-engage all out from Keshi. Gets on to leave, and a flashing, piercing arrow from Ryan stabs the heart of EDG's damage control center. And now the rest of the squad is scattered to the wayside. TT looking for a chase. I don't know if they get any speed ups, but Heru does have an inside track. Has to be wary of his health bar. Parukia might just look for this turn. Gets the slow from ZDZ. Heru, can he get a Rune Prism down? Piercing arrow, Parukia dies to the Arcade Comet. That means 3 big kills for TT. They win our first big fight of our do or die Game 3.
ZDZ gets no value there, and look at the reposition. How creative is that flank from Heru? He gets right into the back line, threatens leave so he can't fight, and Ryan is just throwing out damage. ZDZ, we're flashing! There's nothing else to play for right now. You have no objectives that you're looking for. Baron is never on the cards. And you also have a dragon spawning in a minute and a half. We'll take a look back at this fight. Leave is nowhere near this, and I like the engage from Parukia. Get onto Feather. He has no aftershock, no flash now, and is immediately gone. But look at the flank. Junhao jumps right onto this Angel. He gets feared. Nothing can be done here. And Leave, because he got zoned out by the Rise, he can't really fight this. He loses his flash. He'll end up dying later on thanks to Ryan 3. These LDL players are really starting to shock, and while their first 2 series were disappointing, expected losses there, I think taking a win versus EDG might give them that fire to potentially do some really great things here in Group Perseverance.
Ryan looks good in that fight. I think Keshi's the fight winner. I mean, he comes in, he throws Angel into the wall, he goes all out to pick up that next kill. You're praising Keshi for that Ambessa performance. Looking good on the K'Sante that is only going to get more and more valuable compared to this Gnar, who at this point, it's all about split push advantage he can kind of get, and look for those Gnar ultimates that we're still waiting for from ZDZ. ZDG still clinging to a 1,000 gold lead, but like you mentioned with how much more of the map is open, feels like ThunderTalk should be able to set up pretty comfortably around either this Dragon or this Baron.
Look, our top side has a big lead. I talked about it before, but ZDZ needs to appear in these fights for them to be able to make a big difference here. And we haven't really quite seen it. Also, this Pantheon sitting on 1,200 gold, but still hasn't been enough here for them. So EDG, they've been good about taking turrets. They've been good about pressing and pushing TT on side lanes. Now we need to see them kind of make it true, happen around these objectives. A Dragon win over to EDG, and right now it is going to be Junhao who evens it out at 2 apiece for both teams.
Oh, Heru's looking. Realm Warp, fake out. Not going to actually go for it. Good, wise decision. Could have gotten blown up. Junhao is sprinting up river. Angel Ghost, I think. Yeah, I saw the look. I saw the look. But back, again, the point you made there, I kind of love it because I do think EDG are dominating side lanes, dominating, kind of the macro decisions to get some of these turrets knocked down. But stuff like that, the actual fighting of the game, I think has been all ThunderTalk favored.
And you saw there, EDG, even though they were in the halfway point of the lane, they're like, we can't be here. We need to even go even further back into our side of the map because Junhao didn't have level 16, but that ultimate just gives you so much reach across the map as Nocturne. So Very tense game. We've been sitting tenuously with EDG having the lead in terms of the gold, but it has felt like every fight slowly making its way over to ThunderTalk. Now we get Heru and the rest of the team moving into this top side, getting vision down. ZDZ has another TP available. He's going to be Mega Gnar now. He has a 20-second window where he can be really effective. Otherwise, he is going to be a mini Gnar for a Baron take.
What timing TT have found on this very Baron. Heru is on a mission. You can cue the Mission Impossible music behind this guy, the way he is looking for the flank. Finally spotted. Light's going to go out. Heru gets jumped out by Xiaohao, but nobody else can kind of engage because the lights get taken away. They still find Feather. Keshi goes into the meat and bones of EDG. Heru has to go into the stasis, and Xiaohao goes after him. Junhao executed by a big unleashed power. Angel's trying to do the heavy lifting here, as now finally EDG have found a fight on their standards, and they have mopped the floor with TT, who desperately looked for a pick that was never really there.
That might just be game. I mean, 40 seconds left. It's Feather, and it's going to be Keshi who can defend this base. You have a Sivir. EDG might have just won this off of a single team fight here in Game 3.
Nobody's near Cloud Soul. Baron got, a little bit of a rebel rouser going on.
Oh, EDG.
But they're not going to go for the win. Okay, that's that poise they showed in Game 2. They're going to set up for Baron instead and take over the map that they have had no control over for a lot of this game.
Reminder, if you're angry that BLG JDG hasn't started yet, you can blame EDG in the series for doing that to us, okay?
You definitely can.
Baron's going to be taken here. There's zero possibility of contest. Now, Keshi and Feather, are they actually going to stop them from getting this? That is crazy.
They are. At what point do we change change poise into cowardice for some of these EDG decisions?
I mean, you make one wrong move. Yeah, you make one wrong move here and you lose the game, you lose a series, and you're 1-3 as EDG. We're right back onto the Baron. Flash available here for Leave. Flash available for Ryan 3, and this Baron's almost done.
We gotta get in. We gotta ult now. We gotta get towards the pit. Lights are gonna go out. I don't think they can steal it. Nope, too late. It's secured.
Oh, no!
The gets canceled though. TT can't get out thanks to their trusted Rise. All out will pull Xiaohao away from the fight, but ZZ has already claimed Feather. TT are just trying to run away with this Baron, but Angel's looking for the chase. Sky of the Week finds one, but Keshi's gonna protect Angel from chasing down any of these kills. Keshi is the sacrifice as he eats an absolute power for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. ThunderTalk get our first Baron of the game, and they should get out with 3 members holding the purple banner.
Oh, ZDZ was trying to squeeze one more death. Can he find Heru? If that stun from Angel doesn't stop him and Parukia completely end the Realm Warp, and that could have been a massive disaster for ThunderTalk. But getting out with 3 members is as good as it's going to get, and guess what? This Baron is going to give them time and the ability to push before this dragon. It won't be Soul for anybody, but getting to that 3rd dragon, giving yourself a little bit more time in this game is exactly what we wanted to see here for ThunderTalk. I'm sure we'll get a replay once we get a little bit of time, but I think the timer's a little too close. 50 seconds before this dragon here, and one wrong move for ThunderTalk ends this series.
I think buying time is what this Baron's going to do, like you mentioned, mainly for Heru. Want to see him get the Zhonya's done before another fight comes across here. He still doesn't have like the innate damage you'd expect for a Rise 30-plus minutes into this game. And while you have talked about how time is definitely on the side of TT, in some areas I do think it's not advantageous at all, mainly in AD carry. 4+ item Sivir is one of the scariest hyper-scaling ADs in the game, especially in a game where you, again, don't have a ton of innate range outside of a lethality Varus.
Yeah, well, guess what? If Sivir walks up and there's a 5,000 HP Cassante, I don't know what those 4 items are going to do. So we'll end up seeing EDG still have a huge lead, 6,000 here. Trying to see if they can get some crystalline overgrowth. It might be Keshi who's dead.
Oh my god, I mean, yeah, let's test how beefy that health bar is. Angel and Leaf can certainly get it done. Yeah, wow, that was way too easy with that execute from the Unleashed Power. Angel once again doing the heavy lifting. No Realm Warp to safety, just brings a couple of minions alongside TT, and despite them having the Baron push, they are the ones that secede territory. And finally, 33 minutes in, Cloud Soul point for Edward Gaming.
We're going to keep going. There's just nothing else to do. There's no waves for them to catch right now. It's going to be EDG, I think, moving into the bot side. Let's try to get a little bit more vision. Let's take this last outer structure. I mean, there's a ton of crystalline overgrowth just stacking on this turret right now. So should be the last objective that I think EDG are going to play for the time being before they take their resets and look for the Baron in 3. But what a tense game here. I mean, it's only group perseverance. And I know these teams, their records aren't that impressive, but we spent a lot of time, I think, building up what this series means to both teams. And I think especially for EDG, we came into the season with such high expectations. You kept 4/5 of the roster. You're supposed to bring in Leave, who had a really impressive performance on NIP, if maybe a little disappointing in how it ended. But it could all come crashing down if you now start the season essentially 1-3.
EDG trying to get some of the pressure off their backs for sure, and then for a team like ThunderTalk, with only Feather returning from the 2025 roster that ended in such disappointing fashion, it's as simple as getting that moment to build off of, right? Like a win, like a series win for a team this young in their tenure together. The coaching staff were just looking for something to expand on and saying, hey, look what we did against EDG, guys. We won 2-1. Where can we go from here? That's a big thing for a team like ThunderTalk, a roster like ThunderTalk.
EDG are just so slow. They are not a team that usually makes a ton of super expressive plays. I think Keshi knows. Oh, no.
CDC got that Meganar so fast, Keshi. Oh, that Cassante health bar is not going to matter, friend. You tried for the teleport gambit, and instead, a very untimely death for Keshi. 35 minutes in, that death timer is a full fat minute.
30 seconds, though, before Baron, and look at where Heru is. He's in the top lane right now. He's pushing. EDG, they will at least try to take down this turret, but because this structure exists, I don't know how much further they can really go to get this wave in. I mean, you have Sivir who's sitting in mid lane, but she can't be by herself because Junhao could just ult. You could also have Heru end up following. How much further can EDG take this advantage? It's still a 30-second death timer here for Keshi, and he doesn't have TP, so as long as they're rushing and getting to the other side of the map, Parukia.
That is a very deep find to nothing. That is one of the problem points EDG have had. Parukia looking for an engagement on his team,
Angel!
but Angel's going to be here to rescue with a 3-man stun, sending ZZ in the backline with a Narbar, but Junhao gets himself out. Feather is fine. They turn the lights out and ruin that engagement. Leave is on the front line, throwing heads with Heru and winning. Oh my God, Leave wants this series over on his own, running straight at TT with no fear in his heart. It's a 5 versus 3 now. Keshi respawns to see 2 of his members fallen, and EDG, unlike their last base push, they're looking to end it here.
Yeah, the wave is gone, though. They don't have any minions. They have a wave now crushing from mid and bottom lane. Leave might have just won this game.
Angel's stuns are going to bring it home as well. Down goes Feather. Keshi flings himself into the waiting arms of Leave to finally take down the one person that tried to end their series. And he may have fallen, but he falls as a statue for EDG's victorious march forward. It took a whole lot of patience and way longer than I think Edward Gaming fans wanted, but they are back to 500 and have swept won both series against ThunderTalk.
There we go. The round robin is complete for them. They have at least won one time against this team, doing it in 2. I mean, look, it may not be the same result that we were expecting. We were looking for, an EDG win. Keshi, got to get up. Brother, there we go. Okay. But what I was saying is that we came in and we're saying if ThunderTalk can win one game, we're happy in terms of improvement, especially because you just played this team the night before, and it started off in game 1.
Yeah, it's a weird spot because now that we have the 5 games to look across, I do think like the sweep was almost in a way not like the 2 wins the EDG had the first time round were not as convincing to me as the 2 wins EDG found in this series. But it's funny because it took them 3 games to win this series versus 2, if that kind of makes sense, Alk.
I agree. It's not the same quality in between the 2 series, so
yeah,
it's tough. But if you're EDG, again, famous line, I'm going to keep saying it, a win is a win. End of the day, you are 2-2. Let's use this to springboard us. A big piece of why we saw EDG be so good last year was because they were a vibes team. They kept winning, so the atmosphere was good. And so the feedback was good. Okay, so they kept improving, and it was an up and to the right line. But when you've lost the first 2 series, it ends up being a little bit tough. You get your wins versus TT. Now I need to see them do it against NIP and WE to close out.
Thank you, Kai, for throwing this back up, because I do think it's very funny. Once again, if we go across the board, I don't know if we made a lot of gains on all of these. Maybe leave positioning. I worked down the last one, how aggressive he played, right? That last fight.
Sure.
I think Parukia, like, tried to sprint a couple of these weird skirmishes in this game with some of his engages. It didn't end up costing them too much. And, well, you know what? How about the last one? The last one worked out. I think Angel was masterful in a lot of those team fights on the
last one worked for sure. There were some parts of this game where Angel just wasn't able to be effective. And again, that was thanks to Junhao being on this Nocturne. Even in that top fight around like the middle brush near mid lane, it was pretty impressive. He just uses the ultimate and nobody from ThunderTalk can see. The issue is that he hit the ultimate and no one on his team could do anything because they all missed their spells. If they would have landed even one of those abilities onto members of EDG, I think we're in a much different pace of the game. And we're probably still in game number 3 at this point. So it's tough. It's a tough look here for ThunderTalk, but they're going to continue going on 0-3.
0-3, but I mean, I think much more impressive series against EDG than the first one, right? Like, that's definitely a good takeaway.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously they won a game, so.
And we made great progress today. There are no longer winless teams in the LPL. OMG have won a game, unfortunately, and then they won their series. And for ThunderTalk, they won a game and weren't able to clutch out a series win. But no more winless teams. We're not going to have a how long until this team has won graphic.
Those are never fun ones. Those are just painful ones, right? Yeah. So I think we're still waiting on taking a look at some of these post-game stats, if I'm not mistaken. Unless we
should be coming up soon, but we're gonna have post-game stats. Then we're gonna have an interview, and then we'll have our player of the series. But we can start talking about that now.
Yeah. So okay. Player of the series. I already forgot who got player of the game last. Oh, Leave got
it in game 2. So
I don't know. I think it's tough to pick out a player of the series.
So let's play player of the game for this one, and then we can start extrapolating for the rest of the 3 games.
Not Parukia. Not CDZ. I don't know, because everybody had like kind of iffy. Like Angel, you mentioned like died a bit early, but I think he was like the best towards the end of the game. Leaves really quiet until that last fight. Does it just go to Leave again?
I think it goes to Leave. He has the most impressive play at the very end of the game. We had another fight where he's like just playing Sivir and he just walks up with Ghost and runs them down when they were chasing him all the way down mid lane. I do think Leave earned himself an MVP for this game and probably for this series. Outside of really even that first game, his Yunara was really good. It's just that ThunderTalk were kind of just piling onto him. So,
well, oh, actually, I don't want to spoil that. Yeah, let's a little inside joke for me and you, Walk, knowing what we know. For a certain thing that I talked about that LPL English fans will get to see shortly, player of the series for Mr. Leave will do wonders for him, if you know what I mean. Certain bypass, a little roadway.
Oh, you can spoil it here. It's okay. The episode's probably coming out in 2 days, so.
I'm not going to spoil it. Just you guys will see. Just when you watch what I'm talking about, it's an LPL English podcast episode. When you watch that, just remember that it was recorded before Leave got the player of the series there. All right, enough waiting room jokes. Okay, folks. Congratulations to EDG. Congratulations to Edward Gaming. They are back to 500. They will push themselves into the top half of Group Perseverance once more, get a lot of the weight off of their shoulders. But it's time to finally start prepping it, folks. We have arrived to our Group Ascend matchup. We're going to go to one more extended break. But all of you that have been waiting patiently, Billy Gaming, Jindong Gaming, best of 3 coming your way on the other side of this break.